This is a deadly game. Anyone who loses will be crushed into a pulp by an iron ball. The rules sound simple enough. Guess the number on the dice correctly, and you pass the round. But strange things started happening. The host threw the dice 3 times in a row, and each time it landed on 1. She then asked the players to guess the number on the 4th roll. Because the container was covered, even the host didn't know the result. In front of the players were 6 iron cages, each marked with a number from 1 to 6. The players could walk into the cage corresponding to the number they guessed. A wrong choice meant instant death. A strong thug was instantly knocked out by fear, and people began to want to escape. But the exit was surrounded by bodyguards, and no one could leave until the game ended. The host's cold voice echoed as she continued, "The game time is 30 minutes. Players who are not in a cage by the end of the game will be eliminated. The game officially begins now." The thug believed the dice had been tampered with and would always land on 1, and everyone laughed at him. At this moment, a young man boldly walked into the first cage, leading the crowd to follow. The first cage was quickly filled. The man noticed something was wrong. The host had never mentioned that the dice shown on the screen were the ones she rolled. The video was pre-recorded. In other words, the displayed numbers were all fake. The man then entered the second cage, carefully observing the iron ball above and repeatedly comparing the gap between the ball and the cage. He suspected that survival depended on positioning, so he and 2 followers sat at the edge of the second cage. With only a minute left, the tension grew. A player suddenly said that he had seen an analysis video where the most likely number on a rolled dice is 5. Instantly, a group of people rushed into the 5th cage. The countdown reached 0, and all the cages were locked. After a brief silence, the host uncovered the cover, and the dice showed 4. Immediately, the iron balls in all cages, except for the 4th, dropped simultaneously. The man had indeed guessed correctly. This was not a game of guessing dice numbers, but a test of observation. The real challenge was whether players noticed that there was enough space between the iron ball and the cage. Guessing the number was just a distraction. Surviving was the real victory. But since they couldn't see the size of the iron ball from below, the man couldn't be completely sure, and it was just a stroke of luck. Meanwhile, the group in the 5th cage wasn't so lucky. They were crushed into meat pulp, and the air was thick with the smell of blood. According to the game rules, the people who stayed in the cages passed and earned the right to participate in the next round.